Hello and welcome to the Real Life Alexa channel. I'm Alexa. This is Kane, not that you can see him very well, and this is Real Life. I wanted to talk about starting new hobbies. As kids, it's normally really easy to start new hobbies, and you start off and the people around you are just kids as well a lot of the times. You're all at the same sort of level. As an adult, we get into routines. It can be very difficult to pick new things up. And I mean, it's not just hobbies. When you start a new job and you go from being, really good at what you're doing because you've been there for a while, and you go to a new job and you start and you're brand new, you're beginning again, right? But with hobbies, it's like that as well. But it's really a personal, internal, intrinsic motivation that keeps you going back. So uh, making new friends can also be very difficult as adults. And the thing is that we get inside our heads and we need to take a step back, remember that it's okay to be a beginner, that the fun is in the learning. And if you already knew how to do stuff, you wouldn't be learning. So this year, for the second year now, I have got a garden plot through the town that I'm in, and community garden. And I'm doing better than last year. Last year, I started very late into the summer when I was able to actually start going up there and doing some gardening. This year, I started at the beginning of the month, so much earlier in the season. I definitely have stuff growing. I did go up there today to water everything, and something's been nibbling at my plants. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. 2 days ago, planted some broccoli that I had started from seeds a few weeks ago. I planted them 2 days ago, and it looks like they're nibbling on those leaves. I had some kohlrabi, and there's like 3 plants left, I think, which is weird. I don't really know why they would eat that. I didn't think it was a very sweet plant. They've definitely eaten one of my pea plants, sugar peas. But I just go up there and it's an excuse to get out of the house, which is a really good excuse. Get out, work, do a little bit of work. But also it's kind of fun to see stuff growing and to plan where everything's going to be. And I definitely feel self-conscious. There's a few people there who have just like amazing plots. They must spend a couple hours every day setting them up. They know how to do it. They know better than I what they want to do and where they want to put everything. I walk up there with the peas and go, okay, where am I actually going to plant them? And, figure it out. But one has I think I'm going to have to get some sort of fence, but what fence? What fence is really going to keep little chipmunks, rabbits, whatever out that I can remove again, at the end of the summer. But it's funny, there's a person who has a plot next to mine. Her boyfriend will come with her sometimes. And she started last year as well, although she's definitely in my opinion, doing better than I am. Planning things out and doing things ahead of time. And we were just talking about the similarities of being so new, looking at other people's garden plots and oh, look at what they're doing. And I could, that's a good idea. I should do that too. And it's very nice to I met a couple people who actually live near the plots. So walk past there with their dogs, and their dogs are super cute. Oh, no, we don't like that. No, not in the house. It has rained so much in March, and whenever it rains an absolute ton, I get an ant or two around. Well, it has rained so much that the ants are like, I'm at the point where I'm like, I need to get some ant traps or something. Um, I hate bringing any type of anything into the house because of him and his brother. Not that you can see him properly, but he's right here and he's cute. He's a good boy. He's just having hugs with mom. Um, this is Kane. I think I've mentioned and introduced him before, but um, you can worry a lot about starting a new hobby. And what is it going to cost in terms of money, in terms of time, in terms of energy? Are you going to be any good at it? But I'm glad last year I almost didn't go because it was basically the middle of June by the time I was free to go and sign up for one of these garden plots. And then I had a work trip. So I knew I wasn't going to start planting until the beginning of July. And I'm glad I did still. I was like, well, I'll have 3 months to try and do something July, August, September, and technically into October. But I felt I kind of did it on a spur of a moment. I said, screw it, I'm just going to go do it. And I'm glad I did. So this year, I was thinking about it a lot. Did I want to? If I did, I wanted to be better than last year and plant more and start stuff from seeds, and sort of did a bit of research on some of the stuff I would want to do. Could definitely do more. There's always room for doing more. That's the story of basically life. We could always do more in everything that we do. But sometimes you just need to say, screw it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to try today. I'm going to start, see how it goes. And then if I don't like it, I won't do it anymore. With gardening, I do think you've got to give it a little bit of a chance. I mean, it took 10 to 14 days for the corn plants to actually germinate. About that long. I put one pumpkin seed. I have a couple of squash plants. Those germinated like in 2 days or something. They came up very quickly. Let's see. Is my other cat come in and say hi? Doesn't look like it. Maybe. So you got to just give stuff a chance and be willing to look foolish. And I know when other people walk past this area, there's some really, really well done plots with a lot of plants in. My goal is not to grow a lot of food. I wouldn't be able to eat all of it before it went bad, and I could give some away, but my goal is not to grow as much as possible. My goal is to go and have fun and to get out of the house and to just do something different. And that's working so far. We'll see how we go in a couple weeks, because today was the first time I went to water and did notice that someone's been nibbling on kohlrabi. They broke off and ate one of the pea plants, and I think they've eaten the leaves off of my just transplanted broccoli plants. So they were not that big to begin with, so we'll see if they're able to grow still. Otherwise, I might actually start a couple more seeds and let them grow, here for at least a month before putting them out. I have to decide. I'll go back in either tomorrow. I don't think it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so I'll go back tomorrow and water them. It is supposed to rain Friday. But yeah, I'll probably decide by this weekend if I'm going to start any more seeds here. And it's really weird. I was so worried about, should I even bother doing it? And now I'm on my second year, and doing better with it. It just is more normal that I get up after work and I'll go out and go to the garden plot. I don't go every day. That's okay. Don't need to. Especially if it rains. If the only thing I'm going to do is water the plants when it's raining, and you don't need to go. But what new hobbies are you trying? You could do all sorts of new hobbies. You could do stuff that doesn't require going out. It might require buying some supplies like painting. I don't use my paints and my craft supplies enough. I don't like to leave them out all the time, but if they're away, then it's like, oh, I have to get them out and set them up, and that's annoying. So it would be nice to have a corner where I could set everything up and leave them out and it not look really messy. But I have a pretty small apartment, so I don't really have that space that I'm willing to use. But art, crafts, that's a hobby type. You can find all sorts of different hobbies within that. I have a friend who does embroidery, and she does holiday stockings, and she makes them for family members, and gives them to all of her family members. And she'll post about those. Those are really, really fun to see the progression of them. I do have some needlepoint. I'm not very good at it, but every once in a while I'll pick it up and have some fun with that. There's hobbies like one I was sort of looking at was geocaching. Haven't done it. That is where people will leave a little sort of surprise at a certain location that you use coordinates to get to, and then you have to go hike and find them and stuff. And they can be in the city, they can be out in a park, whatever. Any type of outdoor stuff. Someone else I know was just posting about renting kayaks, canoeing, and that sounded fun. Gardening, obviously. You can take up a new language. It's never too late to start learning a new language. There's so many apps now that can go on your phone and can help teach you and, daily practice. I think one of the drawbacks of learning a language is not having someone who speaks that language to speak with on a daily basis. But that doesn't need to stop you from using the apps to learn it, because as long as you keep going with them on a consistent basis daily, you're going to eventually, they say 10,000 hours to become, proficient at anything or a master of something or whatever it is. 10,000 hours. If you do what's 15 minutes a day times a year is many hours, you're going to end up, just keep going for a few years. You'll start getting a lot better. It'll add up, and the time passes anyway. And that's a big key. Time passes anyway. So start now, start in 5 years. If you start now, you'll be halfway to proficiency in 5 years, possibly even closer, depending on how much time you spend each day or each week on that new hobby. So what are the hobbies that you are interested in? Go ahead and leave me a comment down below. Made it this far, as always, thank you. Drop a like, subscribe, share, comment, and as always, be kind to yourself.